You're telling me you've never watched Ponyo?
Hey.
You're telling me you've never watched Ponyo?
Yeah.
What? What? That's like saying you never had a Krabby Patty. It doesn't make any sense. You know what? what's the what's the anime we're talking about now? What is it? What's it called?
One Room Hero.
One Room Hero. One Room Hero. Which you know what? Last time I went first. What's your thoughts on this?
Oh goodness. It steals a little bit. There's kind of a ongoing trope in some like pseudo isekai anime where particularly demon lords and incredibly powerful mages can just reincarnate themselves long after they've been dead if they take the necessary preparations or whatever. And that seems to be a long-running thread. This isn't really that. Like, it uses it, but almost in a mocking way. So that that kind of start to it is pretty clever. We'll get into what I think about specifically some of the messaging in it that I think is also pretty well done after bouncing it back and forth a little bit. But the humor is absolutely on the nose. Brilliantly kind of riding the line between being completely filthy and...
Hold on.
I remember where I left off. Are we recording now? We good?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, God, I think I was... You better have one of those stupid little cards with the technical difficulty thing in.
That's a great idea!
And it just comes out with me going...
That's a great idea!
Okay, well, Candy completely destroyed the... Well,
the recording.
Probably not the recording. It's trying to preserve the recording, but absolutely destroyed my train of thought. It was about, I think, specifically the brand of humor, which rides the line between absolutely filthy and, you know, kind of pushes a little bit back towards wholesome at some points. But it's pretty decent. Like, it's supposed to be, I believe, a slice of life of some description, along the same lines as like The Great Jahi or Dropkick on My Devil. It kind of has the same, I don't want to say vibe, but I guess I have to because we've destroyed all of the other words for describing this, but it has the same vibe to it, roughly.
It was a breath of fresh air compared to the first anime we watched, like before this one.
Yes, we're comparing apples and raisins.
Yes, we are comparing apples and raisins because I don't like raisins. I don't like raisins. I mean, they're all right, but it's like this one. This one has comedy. It has like comedy, but it's still. Actually, you know, you're right on the money. It really is apples and raisins with this one because it's like you know what you're getting yourself into, and for something like this, you understand what I'm saying? Like it's like very much different compared to like the fantasy one. Like this one is more modern. There, I don't know how they pulled this off, by the way, because it's like got flying ships and they got computers. It's like, they really did something with this one. But
yeah, it's really difficult to fly slowly. That's what you're worried about.
Yeah, that's really difficult to fly slowly. That's funny. Oh god, that's funny. Yeah, it's because I've seen this before. Like you said before, I've seen it before where the main character is a demon lord and he reincarnates somewhere else, but it was always like, you know, like very serious. But with this one, you know what? I think it's more I with this one, it's like it says comedy, it looks like comedy, so I know what I'm getting myself into, kind of thing. Like the cover art looks like it's funny, like but also serious on some level. Like so it's kind of that kind of like mix with this. Like so I I'm not disappointed when I watch it. I wasn't disappointed when I watched it because when I looked at the other one, I guess what the problem is, I judged the book by its cover. There, I said it. I was judging the book by its cover, and then when I watched it, I'm like, no, this is kind of no.
Well, you know my thought on that, right?
Was that?
If you can't judge a book by its cover, then whoever made the book gave it the wrong cover.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of people when they like looking for a book. I don't like reading. I think reading is for chumps.
Hey.
But but when you're looking for a book, I would assume like you're going to judge that cover, or you're going to judge the title, or you're going to judge the description if you're online. Like something's got to stand out, just like got to stand out from all the rest of the other books. So yeah, you got to judge a book by its cover. I would assume. Again, I'm not a big reader. Give me an audiobook. I'll do that. But
yeah, of course
you can tell. Yeah, audiobooks are pretty fun. You can tell this is a mature type of comedy too, like from from the get go, like because it's got fan service.
One word.
And it's got
cheeks. I do have to cut off there for a second just to say the audacity of some of the perspective angles in the early part of this are entirely it is a non-fractional percentage how much screen time is given to ass cheeks, as it were.
I didn't really notice too much of that.
Oh, stop trying to act innocent.
No, it's true. I saw it, but it wasn't like a lot. What you think would like from I can't even name an anime that really has that, but
yeah, completely unrelated. I did pause a lot in this one.
You fiend. I honestly I mean it was here and there, but I didn't notice it more than your average anime, if that makes any sense. Right?
I mean, what do you consider your average anime? If your average anime is Heaven's Lost Property and Strike Witches, then yeah, okay, this one's got less.
No. I think I don't really remember Strike Witches, but I feel like that one has a lot of fan service in it. Like, granted, this is just the first episode, so we don't know what they're gonna like do later on.
Well, yeah, it all disappears after the first couple of minutes, if only because the character possessing of the golden quality cheeks is no longer within the frame. But
yeah.
It does move on to equally what's the word? Lewd content, as it were.
What one of the things that I actually like about the writing for this and is that you have the bad guy character, you have him like care. It's so I read the comments somewhere where they said I think they said he thinks that, hold on, let me rephrase that. The main bad guy character sees the hero as more of a hero than anybody else. Like he admires the hero. He admires the hero, and like he's literally just a hero to the main bad guy character. He's a true hero, and he likes that. While you see the rest of the world not really see him the hero as a hero anymore, and it's kind of like meeting your idol, right? like let's say like you meet your idol and he's like down in the dumps. He's like, it's like let's say you met Robert Downey Jr.
Who is
You love
Robert
Robert Downey
Downey
Jr.
Jr.?
Shut up! Don't you dare say that. You meet Robert Downey Jr. and he's like your biggest like you're his biggest fan, and then you see him like going through some things, all these things, and like you move into his house. I don't know why he lets you. You move into his house and you help him out of the dumps and get his life back on track. And that's what I see with this anime, and it's wholesome.
So
it is wholesome.
I think I have a different take on this. Not
Okay.
not that much different, but I think it's interesting because the premise, the way that the show actually sets it up, is that the Demon Lord has an incredibly high opinion of himself or herself. I'm not exactly quite sure what the.
So apparently, the Demon Lord is a guy. However, demons would do what demons do. Like so, we'll like Oh yeah, I don't want to spoil what happens later. I kind of got jumped into someone spoiled like something for me, but
Got it.
yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, go on.
it's an incredibly high view of himself. And so he determines that because he was beaten by this hero, that the hero must be better. And the initial reaction to this hero being not quite immediately apparently heroic is more one of pity, and it's almost personal because it's like, hey, you beat me and you're this, what does that mean about me, right? So it immediately becomes a self-affront. I would deign to call it narcissism, but I would call it some level of self-centeredness that kind of evolves into this almost mature sense of caring where it's like, hey, I've been proven not to be the best, and not only seeing that I wasn't the single strongest and I was beaten by this person, but even this person is fallible, and then that moves into the kind of caring element of it, which is pretty deep and pretty well played out. Actually, more well played out than I can properly describe at the moment. But
would it be like Mike Tyson?
Who's Mike Tyson?
Like it. Shut up. So you seem to be like Mike. I can't believe you're saying these things. You're saying these things. It's like Mike Tyson beating somebody, like getting beat. Like it's like Mike Tyson getting beat. He's gonna beat you up, bro. You better. So it's like Mike Tyson, like
I'm fine.
Like yeah, good. It's like he's going around beating up everybody. He's winning every fight, but he gets beat by this one guy, and then and Mike Tyson sees sees that one guy that beat him. The only guy that beat him is like, oh yeah, you're pretty strong. You gotta be really strong to beat me. And you're pretty good. And then only to see that guy get beat up by some dude that Mike Tyson beat up already in a fight. They're like, how you lose against this guy? And then how are you losing like 5 matches in a row after you beat me? Like, how is that? You can't. So Mike Tyson invites this guy like to his gym and say, you gotta get stronger, man. You can't. If you're gonna beat me, you gotta. It's like.
I mean.
It's like. It's you can't. Let's say me and you were playing like some game. Me and you playing some game, and I like beat you like over and over again, and again in a game.
Well, that's not hard to imagine. To be fair,
I don't know. You're some games you just clown on me, but and then I finally lose in a game that you beat that to someone that you've beaten many times over, and you're like, how did you lose to that guy? I beat him all the time, kind of thing. So having this like a demon king, isn't a demon lord like just a devil? I mean, right?
We're not gonna get into the like the weeds of what surrounds that particular
Okay.
that one's got some stuff, but like basically it's some of the core features of two different cultures just sort of blended together.
mm.
It gets really interesting really fast when you start looking into it, but we don't have that
Oh,
time.
oh, oh, oh. So Demon Lord, I guess the character is a demon, but is a lord by title, not necessarily by rank of type of demon. Like devil is a rank of demon, but lord is just a title, like from like of a man's perspective, like he rules over a land of other demons when and I think reason why they kind of went that route is mainly because Demon Lord looks better on paper compared to Devil, right?
Huh? I mean, not 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 really.
No,
Not
because
really. I mean, it
you
really
think that
it
this.
it, it kind of depends, you know. You know me, I'm like ridiculously religious.
Mhm.
But not ridiculously religious to the point where I recoil at it, but there's some subconscious delineation between the two, but it doesn't really make much of a difference as far as what the weight of what, like, the difference between demon lord and devil would mean. They functionally mean about the same thing. And the further you
We're
get
about the
into
same thing.
theology, especially if you study like other religions and other cultures, devils, the devil, devil, demon lord, especially across translations, they tend to
Mhm.
equate more often than they're delineated.
Do you think? Because the name of the anime is like Level One Demon Lord and One Room Hero. Do you think it would sound better if they said Level One Devil and One Room Hero? Or
Not really. Um, I think the intent there. Well, I guess now I see more where you're coming from. Demon Lord is in fact more of a humanistic title, so it
Mhm.
makes the subject of that um, more human from a colloquial perspective. It's like if you say Demon Lord, it's like okay, it's a person with a title, and that's how you perceive it. But Devil almost has a species aspect to it where it's something that's not human and doesn't have the same human logic and communicative and active capacity as a human being. So saying demon lord makes it more obvious that it's a human like character. If that makes any
mm,
sense. I hope it does.
yeah, I'm interested because in the cover, because this isn't spoiler territory either because it's literally on the cover. I'm interested in that ghost in the in his closet.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
that I, I'm not gonna lie, that thing actually like nearly scared the piss out of me.
Really?
The
Really?
scene cut to
Oh.
that at some point, and I'm like like basically half awake and completely wasted. It cuts over, and man, that got like halfway up the shaft. I nearly wet my pants, dude. That was because it wasn't expected.
It wasn't
It
expected.
was like, yo, and the demon showed up with the sailor uniform.
But yeah, yeah. I
God
think
bless whoever came up with that.
it's an
Was
interesting
in that
dynamic.
closet.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
It's
yo.
it's an interesting dynamic between the demon lord and his servant because you can tell like so I'm gonna say this. I think his servant is a straight pervert. Like is like straight pervert to a T. More of a pervert than that creepy ghost in the back, like of the cover art. But like a more creepy pervert because she's been on Earth for or wherever the heck that is, like that planet for a very long time. She could have picked so many different clothing, but instead she picked a swimsuit, and she had plenty of time to pick out so many different clothings for the Demon Lord, but only came out with uniforms. I believe she saw it coming. I believe she saw it coming where the Demon Lord was going to be little, was going to be a kid. So she literally bought all these adorable outfits for him, and they're all female clothing. I believe to a fact that she knew what she was doing, and she's trying to pretend like she isn't some type of pervert. I'm a hold me to that.
I was about to say I'm gonna hold you to that when we look back at this, because we're gonna look back at this at episode 12 with obvious questioning of our own life decisions and regret for the time that we could have spent elsewhere. Maybe, because I do kind of have the expectation after several of the shows of last season that this one could just completely spiral downward.
It could. It really could.
I don't think it will, but it might.
I don't think so. Could. It's kind of like what anime dropped the ball?
Summon to another world for a second time. That one got 7 episodes in and absolutely flamed out. I don't even know if I got that far before it just completely lost the plot.
They did that with The Promised Neverland.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Right?
Oh my goodness. If you actually want to enjoy that, I think you watch the first 4 episodes and completely forget about it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was so good, but they dropped the ball at the end because they wanted to cut corners or some nonsense. So Halo did this with the Halo series. It's so look, I'm sitting here talking with the bookkeeper, right? And she says, right, that because her process is that she wants to produce really good novels, and from really good novels produce really good manga, and from really good manga produce really good anime. Why in the heck are you going to change what made it good in the first place and gamble that it's that it's going to be it's going to turn out well? It's it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. They not the Promised Neverland, the Promised Neverland. So the Promised Neverland, they cut out a few arcs. They cut out a few arcs. Maybe they were trying to time and money and everything. Understandable. However, you're cutting it's got the funding to become an anime because people like it, or at least someone gambled with a bunch of money. But people love the manga. So and people love all these arcs and everything. So why would you change it? Don't change it. Keep it the same, because that's what people expect from it. When you go and you change that source material, taking Master Chief's helmet off from the first episode or at all, you're like, what? This is not Halo. This is just some who is this for? It's definitely not Halo fans. It's definitely not Halo fans. And people say who they're a Halo fan and still like that. I know this isn't anime, but people who say that they're a Halo fan and still say that they love the Halo series, you're dog water. There, I said it. I know I'm supposed to be sweet. I know I'm supposed to be candy, but that's dog water personality. You're not the proud true Halo fans that know the lore of all the books that they've come out. You're definitely not. Now, the Halo series, I bet you like it too. The Halo series, it has great moments with the fighting. The fighting is I like it and everything. or like I'm satisfied with it. But it's just the fact that just the writing. I don't mind the art style. I don't mind the animations. I don't mind like how they like a CGI anything. I don't mind any of that stuff. My biggest crux with anything is the writing.
Oh, crux is
Is
the
the
wrong
writing.
word. Crux is the wrong word there, my friend.
What's the right word? Educate me.
You could have said concern.
My anger with my anger with any type of content is just the writing. It's like whether it's
I
anime.
think, you know, I'll play devil's advocate here.
All right.
Slightly, not entirely, obviously, but I don't think that the core issue in some of the cases where anime like completely spirals downhill, anime specifically,
Mhm.
I don't think the core issue there is incompetence or lack of faithfulness. I think that it's just actually really difficult to adapt from source material like light novels or manga into anime. That's what I actually think. I think it's just actually really hard to do. And so there are going to be cases where that just completely fails because you can't succeed at everything. So,
But
you know,
why do it if it's going to fail?
well,
It's like,
you don't
hey,
know if it's
it's
going to fail to begin with.
well, So here's the thing. You know that it's going to be successful because the source material is successful. Like unless it's like a live action, maybe live action aren't really too loved at this current point in time with good reason. But I mean, think about it. One Piece live action. People say it looks good. I'm not a fan of live action. In fact, I'm not even a big fan of 3D anime except for like one or two of them. But um, it's like you're gambling your money down the tubes when you stray away from the source material. And sometimes you succeed. Sometimes you succeed. It turns out well. Other times, but you don't need to gamble that if you just stick to the script. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you do have to fail in order to like improve at something.
No. Well, yes, that's true, but in this
Yeah,
case,
you
no.
can't disagree with me there.
You're just true
You
on that one,
actually
but
can't.
in this case, it's no because all they needed to do with the Promised Neverland was to stick to the script. They see what it seemed like they wanted to do. To say, hey, this is the good part over here. Like we can and we have a minimum
Nah, nah,
budget.
nah. I
Let's
don't
try to
I don't
let's.
think I don't think that it's as easy as saying just stick to the script because you can't just do a one-to-one
It's not easy.
adaptation.
It is not easy. No, you're right.
It's
It is
not
not
like
easy.
obviously they could have done it better. Now, would I be able to tell them how? Me personally, no. Maybe somebody out there could. Obviously, you seem to have a better idea of how they could have improved it than I do. But my core like point there is some anime are just they're not going to, well, one, either they're just not going to be good to begin with because sometimes they are the source material, and sometimes they're not going to faithfully and properly adapt the source material into something that's legitimately good, and sometimes they're
Okay.
going to improve on the source material. That's a little bit more rare, but
Okay. Let me see if I can get
doable.
what you're saying. It's kind of like there is a 50-50 chance that the live action One Piece succeeds.
I don't think anything is ever 50-50.
Mm, true.
And unless you count something can only succeed or fail, and those are the two options as 50-50, that's a statistical farce.
Mm.
But yeah, there's no such thing as 50-50. My
Right.
thoughts about live action is the problem is, uh, this is going to be a tangent. I'll try and
Mhm.
go as quickly as I can. The problem with live action specifically is that the audience of the people that actually are engaged with the story and are more apt to buy into the products and like creative endeavors produced within a certain intellectual property are going to be more partial to the art style that's present in manga and anime, right? So when you look at that demographic of people that are already predisposed to liking, say, One Piece, if you produce a live action anime, you know, anime is close, or a live action, yeah, well, live action production? Wouldn't call it an anime. Anyway, anime is close to
Mm-hmm.
manga art style wise, very, very close. Many of the points of the medium are roughly similar. Even some of the pacing is similar, and it borrows from back and forth all the time. But when you try to adapt it into a completely different medium like live action, you're going to lose a lot of that charm, which is what that demographic and audience is predisposed to liking. So you're going to produce something that by default they're not predisposed to liking generally, but try to, still capture that magic by using the same intellectual property. It doesn't, I think it's universally doomed to fail. I do not like live action remakes of animes generally.
Yeah. Do you think live action could have been good if they didn't have so like a track record of making bad live action?
I don't think so. I think it's doomed from the start. Like,
Ooh, okay.
like in its construction because of the reasons that I described.
I say that because for the longest time I kind of thought like all 3D anime was bad. Not CGI moments in an anime, but like all 3D anime was bad until I saw like two, I think, and they were like, "Oh, okay, this is decent enough to stomach." But like
Well, I'm
for the
pretty
most
sure
part, I'm,
Demon Slayer's 3D render, right?
it's got 3D moments. It's got 3D moments,
I thought the
but
whole thing was 3D render. Well, maybe not
no.
the entire thing, but the whole thing. But
No,
I don't know.
some moments like I can see the 3D, but that's fine. Like little moments here and there, like because I don't really even
And
notice it,
that's
and
the
when I do,
question that everybody's supposed to answer in the comments is whether or not it was 3D rendered. Even though I could just Google that, but forget about it. Too lazy.
yeah, I don't think it was that cold with 3D. But
um.
to wrap this up,
Oh, I'm not
level
done.
one demon. Oh
Oh,
snap!
I'm
All
not
right,
done. There's
all right.
there's social commentary in this one, which is the part that might make it really interesting or might eventually ruin it. Um, which is the part of this first episode that kind of goes over the reputation savaging and destruction of this guy's, public image throughout the internet when, the Demon Lord Googles the hero's name and starts flipping through search results.
Yeah,
That it's
yeah.
brilliantly done because it is actually social commentary. Like, it's
Yes.
what we do to people who become well known for doing something good. We just
Mm-hmm.
completely tear them apart with, bad media pieces and
Mm-hmm.
frivolous court cases and things of that nature. Um,
Oh my God, you're right. Because for the moment, and I still think this too. I think the hero might become evil, quote unquote. I mean, I think they're kind of like going to the direction where the demon lord is trying to like trying to get him back on the right path. But I feel like the hero at the moment he's like bordering between like like a evil and good because at the like that's what kind of like I feel like
well,
was going on with that.
he's certainly apathetic, and
Mm.
if you had done something that, let's say him slaying the demon lord saved the world, if you had done something that saved the world, and what happens in this show happens to you, it's like, wouldn't you be disillusioned? Like, why would you try to help anybody if that was the result of you, trying to help? Why would you ever
Uh,
do that, right? So it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. And the point of like if we destroy our heroes, which we obviously do, this
Mm-hmm.
is what we get. Anybody who tries to do anything good gets knocked down. They just forget about it. They don't care anymore. It's not so much about good and evil. It's more so, why would I try? I have all of the capacity and the moral inclination to try to do good, and this is all I'm going to get out of it? Well, screw you
It it
guys.
it is an interesting like a topic too because why? Because think about it, and I've said this before. Once a certain problem leaves your brain, your mind will look for another problem, like a problem to like worry about. Even like, it's like even though it's like it's a nothing thing. Like, but because your mind wants to be stimulated, like by whatever, you look for something to worry about, even though it's not even it shouldn't even be on your like your worry radar. So like this guy, he saves the planet, like he saves the world. Like everyone was worried about the demon lord, like everyone's worried about the demon lord, but now the demon lord is no more. They want to like take the person that's in the limelight, ergo the hero, and just try to find oh, you're not perfect. You're just this guy. You got faults here and there. Let's see like what's wrong with. We don't like is that kind of stuff. It's like it, and when the demon lord is gone, the world will find a new big thing, like a to make a problem, and ergo the hero. Oh, this just in: the hero is actually a monster or a demon or like a bad guy, like from doing all these like heinous things because that's what gets clicks. Like a lot of people's jobs are to get those clicks,
And
and
the
just so
the funny thing is, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah.
I want to take that and I want to look at the other side, because you say as soon as you solve a problem, you're going to be looking to fix another problem, right?
Yes.
Especially if you're naturally inclined in that area. So this dude, the hero, as it were,
Mhm.
solves the problem of the demon lord by slaying him. Obviously, not very effective because, as we see in
You
the
can die.
anime, the uh, still alive, obviously.
Yep.
So, but once he's determined that he's solved this problem, he becomes a national, maybe global figure, and gives a quite cliched and cringeworthy speech, attempting to inspire others to do better, which is also quite well covered with enough cringe to make your face crinkle to the point where you could break bricks with it. Um,
Yeah, you're right.
but
You're right.
it's the same thing, right? He goes on to his next problem, which is, well, maybe I can help everybody else be better, albeit he does it poorly. And the people that cover news and discover things move on from whatever they were doing to taking him down. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thought process, although one motivated by the spirit of Cain, one motivated by the spirit of Abel. Again,
Mm-hmm.
albeit poorly.
Is that just balance in the universe though?
Oh, goodness. You want this to last
Like
another 2 hours?
yeah, you're right. You're at 40 minutes right now. It's. I feel like it's a balance thing because like no. I think the point I was trying to get at is that you are right, by the way. But also the point I was trying to get at is that it's like it's darned if you do, darned if you don't. Like whether you like do something, whether you don't, it doesn't matter. Like what matters is what makes you happy, and it seemed like this guy he jumped to the point like, look, the hero. It seemed like what the hero is doing is like, hey, look, the world is garbage, and it will always be garbage, and I feel like he's at the point of what's he? It's like the not depression, but it's a level of grief. He's one of the levels of grief. Like, hey, I just woke up and realized that the world is trash. I don't. I'm just gonna lay here like and just like and die. And then you have the demon lord come around like, hey, the demon lord out here having fun, the time of his life, just doing things and trying to lift the hero's spirits, trying to get him back to where he used to be. Say, hey, yeah, the world is trash. Yes. However, life is what you make it. Like, so you want to, like feel like you're living in like, filth, or do you want to like, just try to like, you want to live in filth, or do you want to pretend that you're in a castle? Which you want to be? Like, cause like the world isn't changing. Like it's gonna be the same old, like same old. Like how are you gonna handle that kind of thing? And that's one of the reasons why like I like this one. Like I like this anime. Like and I give it a 10 out of 10. I give all anime 10 out of 10. I swear, I swear I do. Even the bad ones, but yeah, it's gonna be a
that's
good
your
one.
rating. Okay.
Yeah, what's your rating? What's your rating?
Well, we're gonna continue to do this in the form of metaphor.
All right.
It's like watching your mother and your aunts talk about grocery lists and food prices calmly while discussing the state of the world shortly after having a 21-minute shouting match.
Yeah. What?
There you go.
I mean, yeah. God.
There you go.
Lord, level 1 demon lord and room hero. Well, one room hero. All right.